They began as best friends, two young men from Liverpool who shared guitars, dreams, and the same relentless hunger to make music. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were more than just bandmates. Together, they built the Beatles from nothing and changed music forever. But behind the fame, the bond that once fueled their genius was quietly falling apart. By the late 1960s, cracks had begun to show. The death of their manager, Brian Epstein, in 1967 left the band without direction. Epstein had been the glue, the one who kept their egos in check and their focus sharp. Without him, Lennon and McCartney were suddenly equals, with no one to mediate. And for the first time, their visions for the Beatles began to collide. Paul wanted structure. He wanted to keep the band working, recording and touring. John, on the other hand, had grown restless. He was searching for something deeper, in art, in drugs, in his relationship with Yoko Ono. Their priorities were no longer the same. What used to be friendly competition turned into quiet resentment. During the recording of the White Album in 1968, things reached a breaking point. The sessions were tense. Each member worked separately, recording their parts alone. Paul's perfectionism began to irritate the others. John accused him of trying to control the band. Paul felt abandoned, left to hold everything together while John drifted away. By 1969, the tension had become impossible to ignore. The Let It Be sessions were filmed, and what was once hidden was now on camera. Viewers saw the uncomfortable silences, the sarcasm, and the exhaustion. At one moment, Paul tried to direct George Harrison's guitar playing, and George quietly snapped back, "I'll play whatever you want me to play, or I won't play at all." It was a glimpse of the unspoken frustration that had been building for years. But the real fracture came when Paul and John stopped talking altogether. The partnership that had once produced Yesterday, Help, and A Day in the Life had turned cold. They communicated through lawyers, not melodies. When Paul decided to release his solo album in 1970, before the official announcement of the Beatles' breakup, John took it as betrayal. He felt Paul was trying to take control of the band's legacy. From that moment, the friendship that had built the Beatles was gone. In interviews, Lennon's tone turned sharp. He mocked Paul's music, calling it granny tunes. Paul responded in kind, hiding small jabs inside his lyrics. What was once harmony had become rivalry. And yet, beneath the anger, both men felt the loss. Years later, Paul admitted, "I think we were just fed up. And it was sad, because we loved each other." Even John, in his final interviews, spoke warmly of the man he once fought with. "We were like brothers," he said. "You have your fights, but in the end, you remember the good bits." Their friendship didn't end with a single argument. It faded, piece by piece, until silence took its place. But without that friendship, there would be no Beatles. And maybe that's the greatest irony of all. The bond that created the world's greatest band was also the one that destroyed it.